courtesy of Jay Swavey.
From fans, for the fans.
The best place for league updates.
The hottest takes on the internet. Welcome to Cal's Call.
Welcome to episode 9 of Cal's Call. I'm Joseph Callamore.
I'm Mickey Flynn.
And welcome in, guys. Alrighty, so for the first topic of today, Mickey, what are we going to be talking about?
We are going to be talking about, where is it? Jalen Ramsey just taking shots at NFL quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, this guy has no chill whatsoever. He's calling out anybody and everybody. Recipe for disaster, I don't know. He's obviously a great cornerback, a great player. I think one of the better young players in this league. But I don't like the attitude. Mickey, what do you think about it?
I think it's actually funny of all what he's talking about. I think he said, Matt Ryan's overrated, Josh Allen is trash, and who was the other one? Was it Luck? No. Who was it?
The last quarterback you called out?
It was
too. I can't think of it right now.
I don't know, whoever it was. But I think it's funny because I think two of them are established quarterbacks, I'm pretty sure. And on top of that, I don't think he has the right to call out quarterbacks when your quarterback's Blake Bortles.
I don't know. That's pretty weird. I wouldn't say that, but I think Blake Bortles is a decent quarterback. I think Blake Bortles is going to lead them to the Super Bowl this year, but that's just my humble opinion. He's not the worst quarterback you could find. I think there are plenty of worse quarterbacks out there. Jalen Ramsey, obviously. I think, honestly, if we're talking about cornerbacks in the game of football, he's top 3. If not, like, the best one right now. I really think he's that good. And, yeah, it is entertaining that he's calling them out. I think it's very refreshing to see somebody like this with an attitude and a swagger that's not normally found in the NFL nowadays. You really don't see a lot of this. We preach like sportsmanship and good gamemanship, but it's also good to have an element of trash talk, and that's definitely where Jalen Ramsey excels. So I'm glad he's doing it. It's now whether it fires these guys up or puts them down, I don't know. I think there's a little bit of overreactions in terms of what he's saying. For instance, I know pretty big site here, don't know if you've heard of it, Bleacher Report. They said that a supposed article said questioning whether Josh Allen is literally going to have his career ruined because of Jalen Ramsey's trash talk. That's hyperbole. There's no way you could say a guy's career is going to be ruined based off somebody else's trash talk. Have we seen guys be derailed in a season or during a game because of trash talk? Yeah, definitely. But a career, no. Careers are made and broken based off practicing and putting in the work and just having overall talent. So I think that was a little bit of an overreaction. That was just to get clicks. But we're not about clicks here. Obviously, we're about putting out high-quality content. So yeah, with that in mind, I think that was a little bit of an exaggeration to say that he's going to ruin his career.
I think it was to get in Josh Allen's head, to be honest with you. Just maybe.
Well, you have to think this, like, if he's trying to get in his head, then doesn't he have to be to a certain extent pretty good? If you're trying to get in a guy's head to wear him down, you have to be somewhat intimidated by him. And the thing is, Josh Allen, I don't think he's going to be that great. He has great potential, and obviously, if Buffalo's gone wrong with a lot of quarterbacks in the past decade, even more so than that, since Jim Kelly, but where they can go right and where I think they are going right is they're actually following the proper steps this time around to ensure that he's a franchise quarterback. It looks like they're intent on sitting him for the season, just letting him learn as a rookie. That's obviously the smart way to go about it. So let's hope and pray that Buffalo continues to do that. Even if you don't like Buffalo, just praying that there's a competent franchise out there for those people. They're great fans out there. They really love that they went to the playoffs this past season, and they deserve better than what they've been getting for the past couple of years. But yeah, very interesting to say the least. Makes me respect Jalen, but it also makes me say, like, hey, if you want to win a ring this year, you really got to focus. And I don't know if all that trash talk's the best way to focus there. What about the next topic.
Next topic. Okay. Zion Williamson, who didn't apparently, I saw it. He lit it up in that, was it Duke versus Duke game?
Something like it was against Ryerson was their first official scrimmage, you could say. Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett went off, combined for 61 total points. These two are studs. I get that there's a lot of question marks surrounding Zion Williamson and his fit in the NBA. And personally, I understand. I get it. If you had to compare his game to somebody, obviously he's more athletic, and I think he's a better overall talent. But, people might disagree with me, but in college, Anthony Bennett was pretty dang good too. He was dominant. He was physically dominant. He was a good three-point shooter. That's where Zion Williamson differs. But he was same type of hustle rebounder, undersized for a power forward, but got the job done and can completely take over games. That was Anthony Bennett to a certain extent. Zion Williamson is that times 10. He's going to be a much better overall talent. And we're talking about a former number 1 overall pick. I was high on Bennett coming out of college, ended up busting in the NBA. That's a different story. I think Zion Williams is totally different from him. Similar build, similar game to a point, to a degree, but just better in terms of talent, natural talent. RJ Barrett. This guy is definitely the for sure number 1 pick going into next year's draft. To me, I see him as a DeRozan type player with a better jump shot. By jump shot, I mean 3-point jump shot, because DeRozan has a decent mid-range game, if not one of the best in the league. So I'm seeing that DeRozan type athlete, highlight film, he has bounce, he has the potential to be a great defender, just has to keep putting his mind to it, but he has the length and versatility to do it. So this guy's a great talent. When I'm seeing him, if he went to somewhere like the Hawks, he could definitely improve their roster by so much just by being there. I get that Trae Young's kind of their focal point at the point guard position right now, but people call that Hawks team the Baby Warriors because of Amari Spellman being the Draymond Green type, Kevin Huerter out of Maryland being the Klay Thompson, and Trae Young being the Steph Curry. They are not the Baby Warriors. They're not even, to say the Baby Warriors means there's someone along the same track. They're not. They're like they're like the you could say like just a really trashy version of them. It's not even a baby version because they don't.
Baby
I don't know
Kings.
Yeah, it's just they don't have the potential to even be the Warriors ever. Like Trae Young doesn't have Steph Curry's potential, but either so, I think it'd be kind of funny if everybody calls them the Baby Warriors. To add RJ Barrett to that team is like adding Kevin Durant to the Warriors, because that's the kind of draw that it'd be. If they can add a RJ Barrett on top of a Trae Young, that's a good combo. I think RJ Barrett's obviously the best player talent-wise, but you never know. I think it'd be a really great fit. I think that'd be an interesting team. Other teams that you could see getting a high pick next year are the Kings, obviously, like usual. They could use a 3-man like him. They could definitely use a small forward out there. But both those guys, Zion Williamson and RJ Barrett, are the future of Duke basketball this season. I think if Duke is going to win a title like they did with their freshman Jahlil Okafor, who's not a good NBA player, but still was a great college freshman, it's going to be this year. They're the only ones who can really win a championship with one-and-done players. It's very hard. You rarely see it happen. Kentucky did it with Anthony Davis, obviously transcendent talent, but it's different with a lot of other programs as coaches can't handle those, not egos, but just attitudes and players of those 5-star going to the NBA for sure next season guys. But if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Coach K and those top 3 players. The fact that they have the consensus top 3 players in the class is insane, unprecedented, but they did it, and let's see where it can go. What do you think about those two, Nick?
Well, we have a little remark. He said, would love to see him reunite with Bamba in Orlando.
That would be very interesting. It'd be interesting to see Barrett go to Orlando. The thing is, though, Orlando needs a point guard, and they either need to get it in via a veteran or the draft next year. And even if I get that, if RJ Barrett say or take RJ Barrett, but if they get a top 3 pick next year, I'm either shopping that for a veteran that can help my team in the point guard department, i.e. Damian Lillard, or I'm looking to just find one of the point guards coming out of next year's draft. There's not many. This was definitely the best year to get a point guard, and they missed out. They could have gotten Sexton, but they chose Bamba. Love Bamba as a prospect, but they needed a point guard way more.
Well, I thought maybe in their heads, like, okay, we're going to go sign a point guard, which they missed terribly on. I thought they were going to get Isaiah Thomas, who I thought would have been a pretty decent fit there. They didn't get him. Who's their point guard right now?
Right now, their point guard is going to be Jerry Grant out of Notre Dame. Go Irish. So there's him. He's a career backup. He played for Chicago as a decent player, efficient player. He's not the worst, but again, I would prefer him coming off of my bench. I think somebody who they could be looking to get is going to be, and again, I hope this could happen, but it probably wouldn't, is Kemba Walker out of Charlotte. Charlotte's not trading him. Unfortunately, they won't trade him. It doesn't seem like he's leaving anytime soon, but he'd be a good fit in Orlando as well. So we'll see. But that was an interesting point. To see RJ Barrett and Bamba in Orlando would be very interesting, but they just have way too many wings and bigs. Yeah, I don't know if it'd be the best fit. But Orlando obviously doesn't care about fit because they take a center every single year. So Yeah.
Isaiah Wynn out of the Patriots. He was the first round pick. He was a guard.
Yeah.
He officially tore his Achilles today. I don't know how, if it was contact or non-contact. But again, I don't know if you know this, but it seems like every week there is a new Achilles tear or there is a, what's it called? ACL injury. And I know my dad has told me personally that they're all blaming Nike for this, which, I mean, I guess. But, I mean, I don't know what's going on, and I think the league needs to actually take into consideration maybe shortening the preseason. Like, I don't think 4 games are needed. Maybe that can save some knees and stuff. But
I don't know. I think obviously they go. There's a lot of blame cast on the shoe companies that make those, or just the ones that make the athletic gear that players use. I think another aspect to it that's very not underrated because people talk this about a lot too is just the training aspect of it. Nowadays, we have some of the best athletes to ever exist. Our training methods are amazing. We have the best personal trainers in the world for these athletes. Everything about their lifestyle is 100% the best they could possibly get. So with that, I feel like to a degree, these athletes not are taken advantage of, but they are pushing their bodies to levels that we've never seen before. And with that wear and tear of they are training 100% throughout the year. They don't take a break. Even back in the day, players used to take a break. Like, yes, you work on your body and get in shape, but these guys are training every single day. And that's great because it puts a better product on the field. But the thing is, I'd rather have somebody playing who's good than someone who's amazing but only plays 3 games a year because they constantly tear their ACL or Achilles, a.k.a. Jason Verrett. Sorry, Jason Verrett. So, yeah, it's an interesting topic, though, how these injuries keep occurring. Every single year it seems like there's more and more. Very unfortunate, too, because these guys, like I said, are the best athletes in the world, and they're robbing us of the experience to watch them. But it happens. Life happens. It's just tough luck. It's very unfortunate to see Wynn go down. I was a very big fan of Wynn coming out of college. I think he's going to be a great interior lineman in the NFL. I think the Patriots was a good fit for him. He wasn't going to start, but they were projected to use him in lineups. So, unfortunate to see this happen to him. And Sonny Michel, their other first-round pick, is also injured right now. Doesn't look like he's going to be playing anytime soon. Well, he will be, but just sparingly. So, not great luck from the Patriots this year in the draft. They've never seemed to have the greatest drafts, but especially the past couple seasons. The year before this, Derek Rivers tore his ACL. So they always have that bad luck with their rookies, which is unfortunate because I feel like if any team could utilize their rookies to a great advantage for them, it'd be the Patriots. But, sucks to see, but it's just football. There's a lot of injuries in football. Next topic.
what about Khalil Mack?
Very interesting topic there.
Keeps holding out.
Still not playing for the Raiders. Already got fined, what was it? It was like $800,000? Something like that. Chump change to an athlete with a contract extension, but to Khalil Mack, it's not chump change because he does not have that extension. Anyway, obviously a great talent coming out of Buffalo. He was just anything you'd look for in a defensive end, physically dominant. The only problem with him is he is not playing. They're still working on the contract extension with him. I think to a certain degree, athletes nowadays are a little bit spoiled in the regards that they're making more than any of their predecessors ever made in their rookie contracts, and yet they hold out for these huge ones. I get it. You're worth a lot to your team, and your team's worth billions of dollars. But for the most part, if you play, you're going to get paid. If you get injured, you still get paid. Look at DeMarcus Cousins. Look at these other players with injuries. They still get paid even with injuries. I get that it's a business. I don't look down upon players who hold out because if you get hurt or if you don't have the greatest season, even if you bounce back the next year, you typically don't get a contract or you get paid less or you have to take a severe underpay. So teams view it as a business. So should the players. If they want to hold out because they don't feel they're getting enough money, they should hold out. But it's interesting because this holdout especially has taken a very long time. It seems like there's
trade rumors.
Yeah, it's literally gotten to the point where it's such a rough relationship. There are trade rumors. Mickey, where are a couple teams you think he'd be great at?
I heard the Packers are early favorites. But, I mean, I don't know. They have Nick Perry, and they just signed Wilkerson. I know he doesn't play DN or outside linebacker, but still, I mean, other than that, I really don't know. What do you think?
Oh, well, I saw somebody post something saying Buffalo should make a move for him. He came out of Buffalo. They'd like to have him back. And if anybody does have the draft capital to entice the Raiders, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. They already have an extra first-round pick next year, and or do they? I think they do. Pretty sure they do. Not sure. I think they do. I think they have 2 next year, and that's why somebody wrote that, how they can entice them with that. It'd be interesting. Oh no, the Packers do. That's right. So the Packers have the 2 first-round picks next year, but the Buffalo Bills will more than likely end up with a higher pick. So they could always offer that high pick next year for Khalil Mack, or the Packers could go into it with 2 first-rounders, and try to, or just multiple first-rounders from different years and try to get them. I think he'd be a good fit any team he went to in the NFL. Any NFL roster could use him. It just depends on where organization is at, whether they have the capital to make a trade. I think a team that I would love to see him on would be the Cleveland Browns. Wouldn't that be great?
No.
Imagine if you have Myles Garrett and Khalil Mack, like, woo! But that's just coming from a Browns fan. That'd be great to see. Plus, they have draft capital to do it, and a lot of enticing young players. Anyway, so the Mack rumors are definitely a real thing, because he's still not. If he were even reporting, it'd be different. But he's not. He hasn't even shown up. So that's why they're an actual real thing. But yeah, like I said, most teams would love to get him.
It's another player holding out too. Very big one. Aaron Donald.
Yeah. I'm more confident in Donald signing a contract extension with the Rams.
Sure.
The Rams seem to not have a problem throwing money to their players, and nor should they. They have great talent on the team. Les Snead's really improved. In my mind, I thought he was going to be out with Jeff Fisher. I really did think that he was going to be out of there. They were just going to clean house. But they kept Les, to surprise of many, and he's performed very well. He brought in a great coaching hire in McVay. He got Goff, who obviously he already had Fisher, but he's made some great choices since the Fisher firing, and he's gotten that team in position to win a Super Bowl in the coming years. And obviously with that, you must extend the talent you have on your roster, and I think he'll do that. I think Donald will eventually sign a contract extension with him. It'd be pointless in trying to go anywhere else. They're going to give you almost the same amount of money, and you're not going to have a better chance of winning than LA right now. So, yeah. Absolutely. 5-star center, Armando, I want to say Bacon. I've heard Bacon. Bacot. It could be a lot of those. But he chose University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill to be his school. He's 5-star center, class of 2019. Very hyped guy. I've seen some of his highlights. Seems to be very dominant physically. He could be a very great college player, add a very good dimension to a team with his length and abilities down low. Some of the other teams that were in the running for him were Duke. I think I saw that VCU, because he's from Virginia. So VCU was actually, they were actually in his top 5. And Go Pokes, Oklahoma State was in his top 5 as well. Interesting to see, because they have a young head coach in Mike Boynton, who has been surprisingly consistently in the top 10 of most high-profile recruits' choices. They haven't chosen him in that program yet, but eventually they will. So it's nice to see him recruiting at a very high level already, coming out of the gates. So the Oklahoma State program seems to be on the right track. But again, Armando chose UNC. Roy Williams got him. Great pickup for the Tar Heels. He should add a very great dimension to the team going into it. Not much else to say about him, because I don't like to go off high school tape a lot. It just doesn't say much. There's not enough high school basketball talent in America to really say for sure not whether somebody's going to be a good college player coming out of high school. With that, another story came out. John Elway. Oh, was that?
Where's UCLA when it comes to the programs that are able to recruit top high school basketball stars?
That's a good observation. UCLA, I think, when they got Lonzo, I thought that was going to be the beginning of them getting a lot of 5-stars again. And what happened was LeVar came with Lonzo, and when LeVar came with Lonzo, it kind of ruined everything. So now you go from getting TJ Leaf and Lonzo Ball in the same class. Oh, he was a great player. But I'm saying you go from getting those two to now they got Jalen Hands coming in. He's okay. I think they rank very highly. They have a great pedigree, a great history. It's just a matter of if Alfred's I'm not the biggest Steve Alford fan.
I'm not an Alford fan either. I know UCLA fans aren't even an Alford fan.
With that in mind, I don't think he's the best recruiter. So I think the answer to your question would be yes. It can't be yes, but they are very highly ranked upon institutions that are good at recruiting high school basketball recruits based off of name recognition alone. Now, where they are lacking is their staff. If they built up that staff, brought in a new head coach, maybe not a new head coach is necessary, but if they built up the staff in terms of recruitment, maybe they'd be up there. I think they're still top 15 in terms of name recognition, but that coaching staff really needs to ramp it up for me to actually consider them a top 10, top 5. Definitely, with football, the tides are changing for them. They got Chip Kelly, so I think they're going to be back in the top 10, top 5 consistently. UCLA is a big school with a big name, big star power, a lot of big and rich history. So a lot of big things going on there. So they should be up in the mix again in basketball. They're already going to be up there in football. Any other questions coming in? No?
Well, I mean, who could be the new basketball coach at UCLA?
Who could be the new basketball coach at UCLA? That's tricky. Very tricky. It depends. It depends if they're looking for a new young face who's coming out of college basketball, maybe a good assistant, or maybe they're looking at the NBA ranks. I think
Cheeks.
What was that?
Maurice
Cheeks? I wouldn't like him there. I wouldn't like him there. I think it's a very interesting concept to bring in assistant coaches from the NBA to coach college because they typically have great success. If you're coaching at the professional level with the best athletes in the world, maybe the transition to college isn't the greatest to start because you have to get used to lesser talent, recruiting, which is different than the pros and in college, all this other aspects to it, the NCAA with all their rules. But for the most part, if you came out of the pros, you're a decent coach. So maybe look within the NBA ranks and look for some former UCLA Bruins players. I think that adds some pedigree to it. I know the fact that your head coach Alfred was considered for the Indiana job because that was his alma mater doesn't bode well to give your fan base confidence in the fact that he wants to be there. Obviously, he chose to stay, but if I were him, I would have been I would have had eyes for my alma mater in Indiana as well. So it'd be nice to get a UCLA grad. Just depends who. There's still a lot of options out there, and there's a lot of great head coaches out there. And if anybody can get them there to UCLA, outside of Duke, Kentucky, and that's almost some of the only ones that really put over them. Their name recognition is one of the best in basketball.
Yes.
Obviously, they have the best player to ever play in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Well, then Lou Alcindor. They had him playing for that team, and ever since they've just been one of the best consistently. But they haven't had that amazing player to come to the NBA recently.
In a while.
In a while. Kevin Love.
That was the last one. Him and Russell Westbrook.
Him and Russell Westbrook. Well, that was like the last class where somebody.
Muhammad, not a bust, but
Yeah, Shabazz
solid
Muhammad.
Anderson.
That guy
off
was
the bench.
disappointing. Shabazz Muhammad, I really thought
he was my
gonna
favorite player.
Yeah, he was so good coming out of high school, but disappointed. They really haven't been able to. They've been able to get big names, but then big names don't produce, and then because you didn't develop them, other big names don't want to go to your school. So it's a tricky situation there. But I wish I knew more about college coaching ranks to give you some names. But I don't, and I don't want to speak out of terms and then just give stupid names that make no sense. Because again, we're a high quality site. Maybe not the highest volume, maybe not the highest viewership, but we're going to be high quality. So I don't want to speak out of terms with that. But it'd be very interesting, I'd say, if they look to get a new head coach.
What about Cap and the Broncos?
Cap the Broncos, yeah. So John Elway did mention that Kaepernick had a chance to be the Broncos quarterback, and it just did not work out for some reason. Probably his attitude.
I don't know if I even believe that story, to be honest.
Yeah, it might have just been said to make it seem like he was open to bringing Cap.
Yep.
And then blame it on him for not showing up to work out or something like that. It's probably what it was. A lot of teams have gone to say that, and then people call them out on it. So interesting story to say the less. John Elway does exaggerate a lot though, so again, probably just hyperbole on his end. But it would have been interesting. I don't think Kaepernick would fit in that offense at all. But at least an interesting little rumor.
I mean, my opinion, I think he's too good to not be at least on a training camp roster.
That's
I think he is
true.
better than I don't even know like most, not most. He's better than Bortles. He's better. I don't know if he's better than Tyler. He's better than even some starting quarterbacks in the league, and I think he deserves another shot. It was taken way out of context.
Yes, yeah, I agree with that comment.
Yes.
I know we talked about this the last podcast, and I just want to bring it up again because I think it's a very interesting point. I saw somebody today, I forget its name, it's an NFL Insider reporter, said that he believes if the Jaguars were able to make a play for Teddy Bridgewater, that with Teddy Bridgewater, they are hands down, far and away, the favorites to win the Super Bowl this year. And I am a Bortles fan, but I agreed with that so much to a T that I am now full on in support of the Jaguars being the ones who should go all in on getting Teddy Bridgewater. The thing is, if you bring him in, you can make him the backup. He won't care. He's signed a deal with the Jets to be their second stringer. He's not the big. He's not gonna be affected by being put on the bench. But at least you know by having him there that if Bortles messes up, bam, Teddy Bridgewater and his accuracy can go in the game. I think it's best for both parties that he goes to a contender. He deserves to win. Let's be honest. He was one of the main catalysts to leading that Vikings team to where it is now, but then he got injured, and it was a very sad story. But now he's back, so no more sadness. All happiness from here on out. It's a good comeback story. Hopefully he goes to the Jaguars and can compete for a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl championship. I think that'd be a tremendous fit. That really opened my eyes today. I know we talked about rebuilding teams looking for a quarterback, but if he was on that Jaguars team, they would just, man, I could not even imagine. That offense with him in there as the QB be the best show to watch in all of football outside of LA, because that show's going to be fun too. But yeah, very exciting to see it happening. I know right now the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns are battling live. It's going to be Josh Allen versus Baker Mayfield. Right now, obviously, it's tied at 7-7. That's live in the second quarter. Gonna do my weekly prediction. Say Baker Mayfield's gonna make it to the Hall of Fame. And Mickey said he didn't want to bring this up on the podcast, so I'm going to anyway. I think this is a good storyline. At least it was an enticing storyline, to say the least. Mickey and I went shopping recently. Actually, it was yesterday. For Mickey, by the way, give it up for him, man. Just turned 19. So happy belated birthday, Mickey. We didn't do a podcast on his birthday. We went out and celebrated. But anyway, we went shopping, and we walked into a store, and they had 3 jerseys that immediately caught my eye. They had Saquon Barkley, they had Sam Darnold, and they had Josh Rosen. Yes, I can understand your arguments of we live in Southern California, and they both went to USC and UCLA, so that's why they have their jerseys. I understand that. But Barkley went to Pennsylvania State, Penn State University. They are nowhere near Southern California, and he was the number 2 pick. So tell me why does Baker Mayfield, the number 1 overall pick, not have his jersey hanging up in the store? We checked multiple stores, they didn't have it. That is a farce. That is heresy. It's just horrible. I keep doubting Baker Mayfield, but I'm telling you he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game of football.
Simple. Giants, Browns. Simple.
And that was another thing that was said when I asked where the Baker Mayfield jersey was. They said, quote unquote, it's the Cleveland Browns. That is unfair to him. He's a great player. May not be the best franchise. He's a great player. He deserves to have his jersey sold at stores. So fans like me and other football fans who love the game can get this man's jersey. I just thought that'd be a funny little thing to bring up during the podcast because we need some sort of entertainment. Am I right? But yeah, interesting storyline that he's being snubbed from even stores. Yeah, anything else you want to bring up though, Mickey? Anything happening in baseball?
The Oakland A's are actually catching the Houston Astros for the division lead, which is pretty amazing actually, because a lot of people had the A's as pretty much bottom feeders coming into the year, and they actually ended up tearing things up, kind of like I can't think of a team that even snuck into the playoffs in the NBA or anything. And a lot of teams are actually thinking that they will win. Yeah, like the Jazz. A lot of teams will actually think that they will win that division. People. And, I think it'd be interesting. They're currently 3 games out, and it's totally, not far-fetched or anything. They're a very good team. And on top of that, they keep acquiring all these pieces that actually are making them legit contenders. And I actually think they're going to catch the Astros and take them down and end up hosting playoff games. My personal opinion.
Interesting. Billy Bean's still leading.
Billy Bean is still the general manager.
Nice. I'm not the biggest baseball follower. That's why Mickey's here to provide you all your baseball info. I'm more of a basketball and football guy. Anything else happening in sports today, Mickey?
The Dodgers are making the playoffs. Come on.
Dodgers are making the playoffs?
Dodgers.
Who said they aren't going to make it? Oh yeah.
Come on.
Probably.
I don't know if they win the division, but they're definitely going to make it.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
Is that it?
That's about it. Let me try to see if I can find the story I was going to bring up. So another little, again, It's a very slow week in sports, other than the preseason games for the NFL. Kobe Bryant invested $6 million into a drink called Body Armor. I don't know if any of you guys have tried it. I have. I hate it. I think it tastes horrible. Dislike it just as much as I dislike Kobe. But anyway, I guess he invested $6 million into it when he was first starting. Now it's worth $200 million.
That's good.
There you go. Somebody who already made $100 million in his NBA career for playing a game of basketball has now made another $194 million off of investment in a sports drink. So very good for Kobe to do that. Very good business mind. He's done a lot of actually. It's very impressive. Didn't like him as a player, or really as a guy. I think the personality just rubbed me the wrong way. But he's really coming to his own outside of the football, outside of the basketball court. Like after he retired, he is not only written. He's gotten an Emmy, right? Or he's actually gotten an Emmy for his
he
short
did.
film.
That was
that's
stupid.
amazing. And then he did, and then he made this, and then he obviously he's flipped it to a $194 million profit off his investment in a sports drink. So he's making a lot of business moves outside of basketball. It's very impressive. It's very LeBron James-esque out of Kobe. And yeah, all right. I think you know what? I think we should to end off the podcast. So it was reported today that Ohio State will have its conclusion on Urban Meyer and all of their investigation by Sunday. They'll know whether, I don't know if they'll announce whether or not he's going to be staying, but they'll come to the conclusion of their investigation on Sunday. With that in mind, Nikki, I know we talked about this before, and we both said that he wasn't going to be there. Things have changed a little bit. Do you think he's going to be staying at Ohio State after this week or no?
I mean, I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say yes. I don't even know why, but I just feel like you don't let that great of a coach leave. My personal opinion.
I'm going to say yes, but I don't think it's because he's a great coach. I think
Suspended 2 games. That's what that guy said.
yeah. I think he should be gone personally. There's no way he should stay. I don't think it's not. If he wasn't this big of a name, he'd be gone by now. For sure be gone by now.
Yes.
But because he is who he is, he'll more than likely stay. I don't think he should stay, though. I think they should get rid of him. But I have this weird feeling in my gut, too, that he's going to stay and be the coach for that program, which is a little disappointing. I think it'd be nice to get a fresh face in there and just totally wipe the slate clean and start over. DJ Durkin, by the way, got suspended without pay. Or I don't know what pay. He just got put on leave by the University of Maryland for his handling of the situation with McNair. One of his players died just a couple months ago during practice. It was not handled correctly. The strength coach has since resigned. Very big issue as well. So there's a lot of, and he actually used to work for Michigan with Jim Harbaugh. So a lot of big name coaches being kind of dragged into these scandals from their assistants. I mean, Zach Smith, you guys hear about him? This guy, I mean, he obviously domestic violence. He was accused of domestic violence and obviously did that. He in text admitted to that. So there's proof that he did commit domestic violence. New allegations today have come out that he not only had very weird instruments sent to his Ohio State football offices, but that while on visit to the White House, he took pictures of his genitalia. Very strange guy. Just to be in that position at such a big university and that to happen is strange, to say the least. Everybody makes mistakes. I understand that, but for him to be as old as he was, as obviously as immature as he was, but as mature as in terms of years wise, just doesn't add up to me. Like, how could somebody be so stupid? Like, I don't know. And again, I get it, everybody makes mistakes, but he's in such a high position, such a high university, that should not have ever happened. Glad he's not working in football anymore. And it's just kind of it's weird to see such a, it's taken so many different turns. And I think it's good for Urban Meyer that all of this stuff is now coming out because it looks less bad on him and more focused on Zach Smith. Yep. But still at the same time, you allowed this to happen and you didn't let him go before you should have. So kind of on you, man. You're the head coach of the university, one of the biggest universities in terms of football in the entire nation. And you're heavily scrutinized every time something goes wrong. So why would you ever keep a risk like that on the team is beyond me. But yeah, so with that in mind, that's the last topic we have for today. Not the biggest episode. There's not much to talk about in sports right now, but you already know if something does happen, we'll be on it. We're your sports duo, best on the internet, hottest takes around. Tell your friends, tell your family. Cal's Call is the next biggest thing on the internet. So definitely check us out on Spotify, soon to be iTunes, Facebook, Instagram. What is this called?
Periscope.
YouTube. We're all over the place. Just look up Cal's Call with the apostrophe S, and we'll be there. So thank you
Shout
guys.
out for the shirts.
Oh yes, by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed the past couple episodes, but we now have official Cal's Call polos, courtesy of Pat Flynn, the #1 Cal's Call supporter in all of California, the entire world, in fact. So thank you, Pat. Best sponsor we've ever had. You'll continue to be that. So thank you for the shirts. We're official now. And thank you guys for checking us out. Have a great day. And I'm Joseph Calmore.
I'm Mickey Flynn.
And this is Cal's Call.
For all the latest and breaking news, podcasts, and live streams, make sure to check out Cal's Call on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Periscope.